600 years ago, if you caught the plague, the recommended medical treatment was this. Take a live chicken, pluck every feather off its backside, then strap that bare chicken's skin directly onto your open sores. And people actually did it. That wasn't a joke. That was the science. Because here's what nobody wants to admit about pandemics. When something invisible starts killing people, humans don't just run or hide. They reach for something they can put in their mouth or rub on their skin and feel safe again. Yeah. We have been doing it for 600 years, and the uncomfortable part isn't that they did it back then. It's that you did the exact same thing the last time it happened. Gummies, the powders, the $40 bottle, same fear, same reflex, just better marketing. Let me show you how deep this actually goes. Case 1. The plague. Black Death killed roughly 1 in 3 people alive in Europe, and nobody knows what's causing it. Germs don't exist yet as an idea. Bacteria are unknown. People are trying to solve a mass murder while missing the concept of fingerprints. So they invent a story. Disease travels through bad air, bad smells, the so-called miasma. And if bad smells cause it, then strong smells must be able to stop it. Overnight, garlic becomes a full-time job. People carry it. Eat it raw, rub it into their skin, and wear it around their necks like protective jewelry. The rich go a little further. They swallow powdered gold and crushed emeralds, convinced something that expensive couldn't possibly be touched by disease, right? And then there's the chicken, the one from the start. Here's the part I left out. Doctors told people to take a live chicken, pluck the feathers from its rump, and press that bare chicken rump directly onto a plague sore. The idea was simple. The sore was supposedly full of poison, and the chicken's bare rump would somehow pull that poison out of the body. So if the chicken got sick or died, people thought the cure was working. They would remove it, grab another chicken, pluck it, and do it again. That was a real medical treatment. A live bird's bare rump pressed onto an infected wound? Yeah, none of it worked. Plague was being carried by fleas living on rats. The rats did not care how aromatic anyone was, but the pattern was already there. Case 2. When cholera tore through cities in the 1800s, people did it again. This time the disease was spreading through contaminated water. Nobody knew that either, so they blamed what they could see. The food, of course. Doctors warned people away from cucumbers, melons, and fresh fruit. People were convinced a salad could get you killed. Meanwhile, vinegar became the new miracle. People drank it, soaked their letters in it, and breathed its fumes all day through cloths pressed to their faces. Then finally, one doctor in London got fed up. John Snow decided to map every cholera death in Soho, and the pattern pointed to a single water pump on Broad Street. He removed the handle, and the deaths dropped almost immediately. The real killer had been sitting in plain sight the entire time, and they had been at war with cucumbers. Case 3, the flu. By 1918, the Spanish flu killed more people than the entire First World War, and the same reflexes kicked in yet again. If you guessed the garlic, you are allowed to follow me. Onions became the new hero. Families sliced raw onions and left them in bowls in every room, convinced the vegetables would absorb the disease out of the air like sponges. And newspapers, of course, printed this with a straight face. Doctors were writing prescriptions for whiskey, and pharmacies were handing out hard liquor as official flu medicine. 600 years after the Black Death, and humanity's best idea was still an onion. Onions, by the way, are vegetables, not air purifiers. But here's where it gets darker. Case 4, the scam. At some point, someone realized there was real money in the panic. In the 1830s, an American doctor started claiming tomatoes could cure almost anything. Liver problems, stomach issues, even people's fear of cholera. A salesman heard this and, saw opportunity. Suddenly, the country was flooded with tomato pills. They sold by the millions. Then the lawsuit started. Rival companies began publicly accusing each other of fraud. And because many of the most popular tomato pills contained 0 tomatoes, they were just laxatives in a fancy bottle with a clever label. Your fear was the product. The tomato was just branding. And that's the part that should actually scare you. Every time something invisible threatens us, the same 2 things happen. People reach for something they can swallow, and someone else figures out how to sell it to them. Case 5, the one time it worked. Now, before you think I'm just here to mock everyone who came before us, I have to be fair. Because just once, the weird food cure was completely accidentally, perfectly correct. For centuries, sailors on long voyages were dying of something called scurvy. Their gums would rot and bleed. Their teeth would fall out. Old wounds that had healed years earlier would split back open. Their bodies were, quite literally, coming undone from the inside. It killed more sailors than storms, battles, and shipwrecks combined. And yeah, nobody knew why. In 1747, a Navy surgeon named James Lind decided to actually test the wild theories floating around. He gave dying sailors different treatments: vinegar, seawater, cider, even a paste of garlic and mustard. The two who got oranges and lemons recovered in days. Nobody understood vitamin C. Nobody understood the chemistry. They just knew the citrus had worked. Then, decades later, the British Navy, to save money, switched from expensive lemons to cheaper limes with far less vitamin C, and scurvy quietly came back. Even when we accidentally get it right, find a way to ruin it to save a few coins. That's how deep this runs. Fear, a food, a promise, repeat. It never stopped. It just changed costumes. The garlic necklace became the $40 immune gummy. The onion in the corner became the essential oil diffuser. And the tomato pill became the ancestor of every miracle bottle that still sells certainty in a moment of fear. Same fear, same reach. The oldest reflex in the human brain. When the world feels out of control, we look for something, anything, we can put in our mouths to feel like we have a say in whether we live or die. It's not stupidity, it's older than stupidity. And trust me, I spend my whole short life thinking about what people put in their mouths and why. So believe me when I say, we did not grow out of this, we just got better packaging. It's easy to laugh at the garlic necklaces, the poison drawing chickens, and the onion standing guard in the living room. Every generation has its version. Powder, its miracle, its pill that's mostly marketing, and fear dressed up as science. And the strangest part isn't that they believed it. It's that every generation that laughed at the last one fell for its own. So the only real question left is this. When the next panic comes, oh, and it's coming, what's going to be your onion?